What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close and we are now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the summer, only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are definitely out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of the set. But it wouldn't be the first time that I pulled a collector's rare, because I also pulled this. Freshly pulled out of my Genesis Impact box opening that I did last year is a collector's rare B-Cop from the Underworld. This thing is absolutely gorgeous, you guys. Never would have thought I would ever be pulling this card. Ever. Like, ever. The centering on the back is a bit off from top to bottom, as you guys can probably tell, but honestly, it really doesn't make much of a damn, because I am going to be getting this card graded, but I never came up with a good opportunity to do so. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 80% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys aren't even subscribed. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which basically kind of ties with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, which is this: what was your favorite match from NXT Vengeance Day last night? And what was the highlight of NXT Vengeance Day? Let me know down in the comments below. And for this week's episode, we are going to be doing an in-depth review of NXT Vengeance Day from last night. And honestly, I'm actually kind of surprised that NXT, that Vengeance Day ended the way it did, because right now we are now officially on the road not only to WrestleMania 40 in Philly, excuse me, but we are also on the road to NXT Stand and Deliver with only a single premium live event, and then excuse me, and of course a single NXT special in the center of that road to WrestleMania. I am talking solely about the Elimination Chamber and of course NXT Roadblock. And I'm gonna be honest, Elimination Chamber is gonna be one hell of a premium live event, especially with the fact that I'm gonna have to stay up all fucking night just to watch the Elimination Chamber. So get ready for a result video literally at like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. Get ready for it, you guys. It's gonna be crazy. But but for those who are new to the channel and do not know, at the end of every single premium live event, I always I always reveal the results of the whole show, and then on the Monday after the premium live event, I do a full in-depth review of said PLE, and I give each match a rating of 1 star to 5, and rating the entire card from 1 star to 5, and talking about what could have been. What could have been if things could have ended differently, if you will, and this will be no different. So let's kick things off with the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic that featured the team of Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker taking on the Trick Mello Gang, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, 2 former NXT North American champions versus a former 2-time NXT champion and a former King of the Ring. Think about that, guys. All four these guys have had a lot of success over the years in WWE. Take Baron Corbin for example. Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner, Money in the Bank, United States champion, King of the Ring, multi-time Golden Gloves boxing champion. Think about that, guys. Think about that. And now the question is, did he win the Dusty Cup? Did he? We are about to find out, because obviously this match actually ended in controversy, and I didn't notice it until what was it last night? Yeah, I was on Instagram and I didn't notice it, but the match ended in controversy, which we will get to a little bit later on. Some of the highlights that were in this match, obviously we saw Braun Breaker hit a swanton bomb from the top rope onto the floor, hitting both Trick and Mello, which I've never seen a dude like Braun Breaker pull that off. I mean, obviously we've seen Brock Lesnar, hit a shooting star press, at one point. But a guy like Braun Breaker, come on. The dude is like 250 pounds, almost like 300 pounds. How the hell is he able to pull that off? And the crazy thing is that it's as Booker T always says. When it comes to Braun Breaker, Booker T always says, no bread, no water, just meat. And Braun Breaker saw a lot of meat in the form of the Trick Mello Gang, and this was literally everything that we had expected. We knew that both Corbin and Breaker wanted to get their hands on Carmelo Hayes for all the crazy bullshit that happened last year in 2023, including Mello becoming NXT champion by defeating Braun Breaker, and then of course Corbin, he got involved into the NXT title picture, so they kind of owed Mello a bit of a receipt, if you will. And this was everything we had expected. We knew that was going to happen. We knew that Trick and Mello had to be on the same page, but it seemed as if they were not on the same page. But there were so many near falls in the matchup, and this is where the controversy comes into play. Carmelo Hayes tags in Trick Williams, but he takes the bullet of Braun Breaker's spear, and it was Braun Breaker who pinned Carmelo Hayes. You got I don't even know what to say except that we could have had a different ending to the NXT title match later on in the main event. We could have. But unfortunately it was not meant to be. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I've got nothing but respect for Corbin and Breaker. Big fans of them, but the way I see it, Trick and Mello Gang should have won that match. But let's say for example, Carmelo Hayes didn't tag in Trick Williams, and the match ended that exactly. Could the match have ended differently? Absolutely. With the fact that Carmelo Hayes tagged in Trick Williams, Trick should have right then and there hit Breaker with that flash knee, and he and Mello would have won the Dusty Cup. Thus, they would have become the #1 contenders for the NXT Tag Team titles, which is currently held by the D'Angelo family. Which that's going to be a bit of an interesting matchup, to say the very least. But honestly, aside from all of that, this was pretty solid. I mean, we knew that Trick and Mello were not on the same page because of a multitude of reasons. For one, go back to NXT No Mercy. Trick Williams defeated Dominic Mysterio to become NXT North American Champion. Later that night, Mello lost. He lost the NXT title to Ilya Dragunov. And not only that, just 3 nights later, Trick Williams loses the NXT North American title to Dominic Mysterio, and both Trick and Mello, they have no gold whatsoever. But if you look back as well, back in October, somebody attacked Trick Williams, and ironically enough, all eyes were on Carmelo Hayes. And I don't know. Some people do believe that it was Trick that it was Mello who did it. Others believed that it was Lex the King. Even Mello thought that it was Lex's King to begin with, but Lex's King said that it wasn't him, and thanks to NXT Anonymous, his alibi kind of checked out, sort of. So, but honestly though, aside from all of that, and aside from the fact that Trick had become the winner of the men's Iron Survivor back in December, they Trick and Mello were not on the same page. Yes, they did. Yes, they were sort of on the same page, making frequent tags and pulling off tag team combo moves and whatnot. But throughout most of the match, they were not on the same page. But aside from all that, this was a pretty solid matchup. Honestly, 3 stars. I think he couldn't. If Trick and Mello had won the match after Mello had tagged in Trick Williams, which obviously, again, as I mentioned, the match ended in controversy, I would have given it 4 stars. But I'm being optimistic, and I'm giving this match 3 stars because I feel like as if once I reveal what happened in the main event, I got a feeling that tomorrow night on NXT we're gonna get all the answers that we've been asking for months. But next up, we've got a no disqualification match that was made official literally just last week on NXT between Dijak and Joe Gacy. This was interesting, I will say. This was about as interesting as it can get, because you have a guy in Dijak who is all about righting the wrongs of the past. Righting the wrongs of his past, trying to become a champion finally in WWE, where as opposed to Joe Gacy, nowadays, ever since he lost Ava to fucking management, and ever since he lost the Dyad, aka now known once again as the Grizzle Young Veterans, Gacy's been trying to figure out what the fuck he's got to do now. So he ends up transforming himself from a guy who's preaching about happiness and bullshit this, bullshit that, to a guy who's basically Mankind 2.0. Yeah. A guy who thrives on pain, thrives on misery, and just smiles and loves it. Which I don't know what to say about it. Obviously, yes, it does make for good content, for good comedy. But this matchup was as nasty as it got. I mean, we even saw Joe Gacy use duct tape to blindfold Dijak, and then use a kendo stick to hit Dijak with. We even saw Dijak go through a table that had, get this, Hot Wheels, and then literally they were throwing everything at each other, damn near, including the kitchen sink, damn near. This was just horrifying to see. But the closing moments of the matchup, we saw Dijak hit Joe Gacy with Feast Your Eyes to win the no DQ match. But honestly, with this victory for Dijak, it means that Dijak is he should be next in line for a shot at potentially either the NXT title or the NXT North American title, because I know that he's challenged for both titles in the last year and a half that he's been back in NXT. So who knows? But honestly, this was just horrifying to see. But this was pretty funny to watch as well. I'm gonna be optimistic and give this match 3 stars as well. Could it have ended differently? At this point, I doubt it. I mean, it's Joe Gacy. I mean, I think he was only in it just to inflict punishment, just to inflict the pain and being dealt the pain. So, Dijak, on the other hand, he was in it to win it. So, there was no way in hell that it could have ended differently than how it did last night. But next up, we've got speaking of the D'Angelo family, we got the family themselves against OTM, 6-person mixed tag, which featured not only the NXT Tag Team Champions, but also Adriana Rizzo, and of course OTM's Bronco Nima, Lucian Price, and of course the newest member to OTM, Jada Parker, who we had seen quite a bit on NXT Level Up, and she's had quite the showing over there, and she's had a few pretty big matches on NXT on main event. She's done pretty well for herself, and has established herself as a potential threat to the entire NXT women's division, and that doesn't bode well for them. But this was something to remember, to say the very least. I mean, think of some of the highlights that we saw. We saw Adriana Rizzo, hit a frog splash onto all the members of OTM, onto the floor. Think about that. Think about that. We even also saw as well, we thought that the family was going to do an entrance from the aisleway and into the ring. This was not the case. They literally jumped OTM from behind to start the matchup, and this was as chaotic as it can get. Not a whole lot to say about it, but the way the match ended honestly was not what we were expecting, because with Scripps at ringside, you would think that it would have been OTM that would have picked up the victory. Thus, Price, plus Price and Nima at that point would have been next in line for another shot at the NXT Tag Team titles, but it was not meant to be. As we saw, Tony D'Angelo hit Lucian Price with "Forget About It" to win the match for the D'Angelo family. And honestly, Adriana Rizzo has held her own quite a few times over the last few weeks, whether it was in the Battle Royal that we had a few weeks back, or whether it was tonight. She's held her own, and just like Jada Parker, Rizzo could potentially be a potential threat to the entire NXT women's division. And who knows? I mean, it's possible, but could this match have ended differently? I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say. I mean, when you look at OTM, you look at Scripps. I mean, he literally got involved in the match a few times, so it's possible that the match could have ended differently with Price, pinning Stacks or Tony D, but for all we know, Jada Parker could have hit Adriana Rizzo with a big move, which would have knocked her out completely, and Jada would have picked up the victory for OTM. All those things are very possible, but this match, 3 stars. I think this was pretty solid, and this proves that the D'Angelo family may be done with OTM. I have a feeling that OTM is not done with the D'Angelo family, and they won't be done until they get their hands on the NXT Tag Team titles, which, in order to get to the tag champs, they gotta go through Breakker and Corbin, which that don't bode well for OTM. But next up, we move into the first of 3 title matches that were on the card. This one being for the NXT Women's title between the challenger Roxanne Perez and the champion Lyra Valkyria in what could have been an instant classic. It could have been an instant classic, but we saw some incredible highlights from that match. We saw Roxanne Perez attempt Pop Rocks countless times in that matchup until she was finally able to hit it. But Lyra Valkyria, being the wily veteran she is, wisely rolls out of the way, which allowed Lola Vice to come in, cash in her breakout tournament contract, making it a triple threat match, meaning no countouts, no disqualification, only way it wins by pinfall or submission, and the champion does not have to be involved in the decision to lose her title. Which, to be fair, Lola Vice made a big mistake. She made a big mistake on her end. It was a mistake on her end because she cashed in at a time when Roxanne Perez was still fresh. She was still ready to fight, and that completely backfired on Vice. But there have been times where she had a few submission holds on Roxanne, and we thought Roxanne was going to tap out. We thought Roxanne Perez was going to tap out, but it was not meant to be, as Vice had a sleeper hold on Roxanne, then had a triangle choke on on Roxanne. But at the end of it all, we saw Tatum Paxley take Roxanne out of the picture, which allowed Lyra Valkyria to hit a Michinoku driver on Lola Vice that she calls Knight's Wish to retain the NXT Women's title. And we even also saw as well backstage Roxanne Perez attacking Lola Vice as payback for cashing in the Women's Breakout contract, which again, it's as I said, it would have been an instant classic had it not been for that cash in. But I'm glad that Tatum Paxley got involved and threw one of the two challengers out of the ring, because that way it gave Lyra Valkyria the chance to pin the other challenger and walk out still NXT Women's Champion. So in a way, Tatum Paxley is kind of helping out Lyra Valkyria. Maybe we could see both of them, finally team up and they become tag team champions. It's possible, but aside from that, honestly, this was a pretty chaotic match. Literally, the first 75% of the match, instant classic. But the rest of the way, Lola Vice screwed it all up. But I am going to be giving this match 4 stars. This was pretty awesome, to say the very least. Could it have ended differently? Absolutely. If Tatum Paxley accidentally, attacked like say Lyra Valkyria, by accident, Lola Vice could have hit Roxanne Perez with a big move to walk out as champion, or it could have been Roxanne Perez that would hit Pop Rocks on Vice to walk out champion as well. Either of those things could have happened, or one of those two could have pinned the champion, and one of them would have walked out as the new NXT Women's Champion, which is highly possible, but it was not meant to be. Tatum Paxley knew exactly what she was doing, and I guess it worked out. I guess Lyra Valkyria owes a thank you to Tatum. I don't know. But next up, we've got the NXT North American title match between Obafemi, the champion, and Dragon Lee, the challenger. Let's be real, this was a blowout. I'm being real. As big of a fan as I am of Dragon Lee, and as much respect as I do have for Obafemi, for how dominant he was in the men's breakout tournament, this was a blowout. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, Dragon Lee got hit with three backbreakers, devastating backbreakers. He was thrown all across, inside the ring, outside the ring. He was put through the announce table. He got hit with a choke slam onto a chair. Got hit with a power bomb, and Obafemi retains the NXT North American title. I'm gonna be optimistic. 3 stars. There's no way this match could have ended any different. No way in hell. No way in fucking hell. Not much else to say about that. But that brings us to the main event for the NXT title. Trick Williams, Ilya Dragunov for the NXT title. Carmelo Hayes at ringside, crazy enough. I don't know why Trick wanted Melo at ringside, but this was everything we had expected. We knew that Trick Williams was going to give it his all. We knew that Dragunov was going to give Trick Williams his all as well. And they both started by being busted open. Trick Williams busted open his lip. Dragunov busted his nose busted. And that's when everything went all over the place. They literally left it all in the ring, except for a few moments when they were outside the ring. And there was a moment when Carmelo Hayes literally got in between Trick and Ilya, saying, "Hey, it's your fault. All of this happened. It's your fault that Trick Williams, got hurt. It's your fault we lost the Dusty Cup Finals." And then Melo tried to attack Dragunov, but Dragunov pushed Melo into Trick Williams, hitting Trick with a chop block to his knee, to the already injured left knee of Trick Williams, and that's what ended it. That right there was what ended the entire match. And the closing moments. Here's the thing: there were so many near falls. Trick Williams came this close at one point. At one point, it was back and forth. The closing moments was where it all made the difference. In those final moments, someone was going to walk out of Clarksville, Tennessee, NXT champion. Was it going to be Trick Williams or Ilya Dragunov? They both butted heads, and it was literally between the Flash Knee versus Torpedo Moscow, and unfortunately for Trick Williams, it was Torpedo Moscow that did Trick Williams in, as Dragunov was able to hit Trick with Torpedo Moscow to retain the NXT title. But you would think it would have ended it there. You would think the show would have ended there. No. The shocking betrayal no one saw coming. I honestly did not think anybody saw this. I know that some people saw it, but I myself, I did not expect it. Melo lifts up Trick Williams and says, hey, you did good. You were awesome in this match. It's you and me, man. It's you and me. We got this. We just gotta push forward, bounce back, push forward. We got this. We got this. We got this. And as Trick was walking to get out of the ring, the facial expression of Carmelo Hayes drastically changed, and that was right then and there. I was like, oh my god. He hits Melo with a chop block onto the already injured left knee, takes a steel chair and hits that same left knee with that steel chair, and says, "I am him." Just talking shit, and just I don't even fucking know. I don't even fucking know. But the question becomes, could this match have ended differently? 100%. I feel like as if Trick Williams had told Melo to stay in the back, instead of saying, "I need you at ringside," Trick Williams would have walked out of Clarksville, Tennessee, NXT champion. No doubt about it. And that right there would have been it. That would have been it right then and there. But Melo being at ringside, that's on Trick. Trick fucked up. I'm being honest. It's on him. It's his mistake. But obviously, you guys know everybody makes mistakes from time to time. This was one of them for Trick Williams. But now the question becomes, what's next for Carmelo Hayes? Are we going to get answers from Melo tomorrow night on NXT? Only time will tell. But this match, 5 stars. This was an instant classic. Absolutely incredible. Like, I know that Carmelo Hayes had quite a few 5-star matches in, when he was the NXT champion. This match right here was an instant classic. Probably match of the year at the most. So overall, the whole card itself was pretty solid. some matches were a bit better than others, but honestly, this was pretty solid. 4 stars. I think this was an easy 4 stars, and honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. But I can guarantee you, the main event for NXT Stand and Deliver, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes. I'm putting my call in. That is the main event. This is literally Trick and Mello gang. Mello turning his back on Trick. This is DIY all over again. Mello and Trick one-on-one, Stand and Deliver. Unsanctioned, no holds barred. Let's go. I'm all for it. I am all for it. But with that being said, guys, that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.